Hello. Today is Friday, January 29th, and this is another episode of Friday 5 at 5 with Denver Public Library. My name is Lainey. I'm a librarian at DPL's Central Library, and in 15 minutes or less, we'll have you up to speed on 5 new titles we can't wait for you to read or listen to. Winter of Reading 2021 is finally here. Sign up online now and start planning your activities, including attending any one of our virtual events, like this one, at denverlibrary.org/winterofreading. Link below. Now on to this month's selections. At number 1, we have Burnt Sugar by AVNI DOSHI, on Overdrive in ebook and e-audio formats, print book coming soon. This Booker shortlisted title, just now making its way stateside, is a mother-daughter story, first and foremost, and a fraught one. Though born with a silver spoon in her mouth, wild child Tara left her husband with toddler Antara in tow, joined an ashram, and even took to the streets to earn her and her daughter's daily bread, living the life of a homeless artist to irk her well-to-do parents. I would be lying if I say, "My mother's misery has never given me pleasure," says Antara, Tara's now adult daughter. Antara herself has become an artist, and she finds herself tasked with caring for her mother as her mother's mind begins to slip. There's no one else to take on the burden, and Antara struggles with the new dynamic. How does she nurture the woman who failed to nurture her? Are Tara's memory losses real, or just another of her affectations? Acerbic, full of wit and cool intelligence, but also brilliantly poetic and passionate. Every sentence is a coiled spring, says fellow author Olivia Sudjic. For readers who enjoyed Madhuri Vijay's The Far Field or Britt Bennett's The Mothers. Next is The Rib King by LADEE Hubbard, print book coming soon, on Overdrive in ebook and e-audio formats. This book was featured on DPL's recent live Winter of Reading Book Buzz. Check out the recording, now here on YouTube, to hear about this title and a bunch of others coming this winter. Link below. The Rib King tackles the commodification and exploitation of Black imagery. Think the recently retired Aunt Jemima branding, for example, and figures as a sort of prequel to Hubbard's 2017 novel, The Talented Ribkins, though it's not necessary to have read that book to enjoy this one. It's 1914 in an unnamed city. Some readers suspect Chicago, some New Orleans. The well-heeled Barclays plucked August Sitwell out of an orphanage's obscurity 15 years ago, offering him a new lease on life as the groundskeeper on their estate, where he becomes one more Black man among their all-Black staff. The Barclays make it their business to quote-unquote civilize wayward Black youths through their employ. When the once mighty Barclays fall on hard times, however, they come up with the idea of bottling and selling their Black cook Mamie's rib sauce, using a caricature of August himself on the label, an idea that neither Mamie nor August have agreed to, and an idea that has August shilling sauce for white folks as the Rib King 10 years later without seeing a dime of the profits. August's long-bottled anger makes for tragedy that ends up tearing the Barclays household apart, a legacy that follows Jenny, the Barclays' former maid, in her future entrepreneurial endeavors in the second half of the book. An exploration of the impacts of trauma, drawing comparisons to Upstairs, Downstairs, and Parasite. I'd recommend this one to readers who liked Paul Beatty's The Sellout. At number 3, we have The Center of Everything by Jamie Harrison, on Overdrive as an ebook and e-audiobook, print book on order. Harrison is celebrated Western poet and prose stylist Jim Harrison's daughter, and this is her 6th novel, after the Mountains and Plains Independent Booksellers Association reading the West Award-winning The Widow Nash. Set in Harrison's hometown of more than 30 years, Livingston, Montana, The Center of Everything is a multi-generational saga that's a bit foggy on the details. That's because our main character, Polly, is recovering from a devastating accident that left her with a head injury. As Polly struggles to stitch together her memories, and as a family reunion materializes over a 4th of July weekend, bringing with it the alarming disappearance of a close friend, we get to know her and her big, bustling family's place within the Montana landscape. A sometimes sweet, sometimes sorrowful story told through photographs and recipes and meals and drinks shared. An excellent book club pick that will have you looking forward to when gatherings like Polly's are possible again, if you weren't already counting down the days. For fans of Anna Quindlen's Miller's Valley and Bill Clegg's Did You Ever Have a Family? The Revolution, according to Raymundo Mata by Gina Apostle, is our 4th title today. Print book available, ebook on Overdrive. Apostle's 2nd novel is a deliciously deep dive into the Philippine Revolution for all you philomaths out there. With Shadow of the Wind and Pale Fire-like flair, she presents readers with a scholarly book-within-a-book puzzle. First comes the supposed memoir of the titular Raymundo Mata. In traditional form, we hear about his childhood, his education, his loves and losses, and his kinship with writer and fellow revolutionary Jose Rizal in late 19th century Manila. But, as I suppose is typical of memoir, a big question arises. Can we take Mata's word at face value? As the judges of the Philippine National Book Award say, the main character here is history, and its protagonist, imagination. Next come a number of forewords, afterwords, and footnotes from editors, critics, and translators that prod at and complicate Mata's story of the violence of Spanish colonization. Apostle confronts readers with the idea that history isn't rigid. This is an unconventionally built, playful, purposeful book for the adventurous historical fiction reader. For more recent fiction from Filipino writers, check out America Is Not the Heart by Elaine Castillo and In the Country by Mia Alvar. At number 5 this time, Featherhood, a memoir of two fathers and a magpie by Charlie Gilmour. Print book available, ebook and e-audio on Overdrive. We started with a book with motherhood at its core, and we end with one centered on the concept and practice of fatherhood. Notice the sweet double entendre in the title. It all started with an Instagram account, Magpie Daily, which since 2016 has logged the growth of one corvid by the name of Benzine, cast out of the nest before it could fly. Wait, no. It all started with Benzine falling out of its tree into Gilmour's arms in the middle of a junkyard. No, wait, earlier than that even. It all started when Gilmour's father, a renowned poet, left him when he was just 6 months old. In Featherhood, we see that Gilmour's chance, ultimately life-altering encounter with Benzine becomes a way for him to reckon with his feelings about his father's abandonment, both because Benzine experienced a similar abandonment and because Gilmour developed with Benzine a sort of father-child dynamic, a dynamic he had previously never dared imagine for himself. When Gilmour learns that his father has fallen ill and that he has a daughter on the way, his reckoning comes to an affecting head. As the Sunday Express says, we have here a profound exploration of grief, fragmented families, nature versus nurture, and whether we are doomed to repeat the sins of our fathers. Elton John, Neil Gaiman, and Helen MacDonald are among its early fans. A bird-loving memoir for readers of Owls of the Eastern Ice by Jonathan C. Slott and The Raven Master by Christopher Scaife. Plus, in case you missed it, check out the Museum of Forgotten Memories by Anstey Harris, available in print and on Overdrive as an ebook. Kate Morris and her son, Leo, are without a home and adrift. They've packed up the boxes from their London flat, said goodbye to friends and colleagues, and now they're on their way to Hatter's Museum of the Wide Wide World, her late husband's ancestral home, just to stay for the summer. Kate doesn't really want to be there in Richard's family home without Richard to guide her anymore. And she knows for sure that Araminta, the retainer of the collection of dusty objects and stuffed animals, has a total disregard for her and for Leo. But they have nowhere else to go, so they must make the best of it. Leo has autism and somehow seems more in tune with the museum than Kate ever could have dreamed. But Richard hasn't told Kate the truth about his family's history, and something about the house starts to work its way under her skin. For more about grief, family dynamics, and taxidermy, try Magnificence by Lydia Millett or Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett. And that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in to Denver Public Library's Friday 5 at 5. Check out or place a hold on these titles and a whole lot more right now at denverlibrary.org/downloads, link below. And be sure to tune in next month for a whole new batch of recommended reads.